welcome to this week's episode of The Scots in Us. I'm Camilla Hellman, President of the American Scottish Foundation. One of the leading questions that we have many people asking us is how to plan their next trip to Scotland. Or, I haven't been back there for a long time. What should I be looking out for? So after the past few years, we have developed a few tools which will help you as much as it's already helped so many. One of the first things we have developed since COVID has been our biweekly bulletin. We always did a monthly bulletin or semi-monthly, but during COVID, we really discovered the real strength in community. And so our bi-weekly bulletins have grown enormously. We carry news from both Scotland and from here. We carry news of events, both here and in Scotland. And we also do a lot around the Highland Games, giving a complete calendar of all that's going on. There is always so much to report on, and we're really looking forward to the Round the World Yacht Race, which will be coming into Oban in July 2026, having made a stop in Washington, D.C. That is going to be fantastic. Amongst the competitors is the Scottish boat, the Boat of Scotland, which is going to have this wonderful sail, I'm told, with a big saltire on it. So that really will be a magnificent sight. At this moment, our bulletin also highlights the National Galleries. We'll currently have an exhibit on Andy Goldsworthy with over 200 sculptures, drawings, sketchbooks and installations. Another wonderful place to explore is the National Library of Scotland, and a visit to their Treasures Gallery never disappoints. They always have lots of fresh exhibits and ideas going on. I saw one just recently on the suffragette movement. To celebrate the centenary, they currently also have a moving display of some wonderful objects and treasures of the library, which is stopping into Aberdeen, Perth and Shetland. With so much going on in Scotland, we have developed also a booklet produced in conjunction with the Scottish Government USA and Visit Scotland, highlighting some of the things we've just been mentioning and so much more. We understand how it's useful to have a tool in your hand that you can go through and not just have to be doing everything online. Some of us quite enjoy the feel of paper still. Though you may have grown up across the pond or been backwards and forwards in your childhood from the United States to London, living in the US, you sometimes don't know all that's going on. And so we try to make sure to fill in those gaps. From the Fringe in Edinburgh to the Celtic Connections in Glasgow and beyond, the pamphlet notes wonderful leading festivals throughout the year. We all know of the Edinburgh Festival City in August. However, the excitement continues in the fall with the Scottish International Storytelling from October 22nd to November 1. We encourage you to visit the festival's Edinburgh website to know more of all of these things happening. Scotland has a wonderful train system, making day trips very easy to undertake. You don't need to try and drive on the wrong side of the road. A day trip from Glasgow, which will never disappoint, is a visit to Falkirk and the wonderful Kelpie sculptures of Andy Scott at the Helix Park, the tallest equine sculptures in the world, and also take a ride on the Falkirk wheel. If you haven't already done so, it's fantastic. And then pop across to Alloway, to the birthplace of Robert Burns. On my list for next year from Glasgow is a visit to the Paisley Museum, which has just undertaken a multi-million-pound renovation and refurbishment and is scheduled to open in early 26. If you're journeying up to the Highlands, a wonderful place to stay would be Inverness. The train journey up there is breathtaking, the most beautiful scenery as you go up, and it's so easy, 4 hours. The city is overlooked by the beautiful castle of Inverness. I know they call it a city, but to me it's an absolutely charming market town. And the cobblestones around and everything make it very easy to traverse and enjoy. The castle has undergone a multi-million-pound renovation and is set to open as an interactive experience of the Highlands in 2026. It's been delayed several times, so we'll let you know as soon as we know it really is open. But as you look up there, what a striking, wonderful place it is. I'm told that the locals used to dread going up there as it was a magistrate's court in those days. It's also a short trip from there to the battlefields of Culloden, and also for taking a trip around Scotland's castle trails. If you're driving down, I would suggest stopping on the way down in Dundee and seeing the wonderful V&A, um, which has some fantastic exhibits all the time. The coastline along there is breathtaking. And then dropping into Dunfermline, the birthplace of Andrew Carnegie, and where the early kings of Scotland, Robert the Bruce, and many others, were buried in the abbey. It's a wonderful town that you can walk around and enjoy. And of course, if you can, a stop at Stirling Castle is a fantastic experience. And now you've made your way down from the Highlands and you're in Edinburgh. There's so much to do within Edinburgh. That's a whole subject to itself, from the museums to the theatres to all that we know we can do there. But what you do need to then think about is taking a trip down to the borders and go to see the historic houses of Abbotsford and Dumfries. And then, of course, there are the islands, the wonderful islands of Skye, of Orkney, of Shetland, of so many things to see, the textiles and the mills and the beauty of the Hebrides. And we will be highlighting the wonderful Isle of Skye with John Harbour of Exclusive Tours in our very next podcast, taking you on a tour of the island. As a member of the American Scottish Foundation, we share benefits from our partners, including the opportunity to stay at the wonderful Caledonian Club in Belgrave Square, London, on your way up to Scotland. The train from London to Edinburgh or Glasgow is a fantastic service, and one I would recommend you take if you land into London first. And the Royal Scot Club in Edinburgh is another of our partners, a wonderful place to stay. Membership is easy of the foundation. Your only qualification is a love of Scotland. Visit our website, americanscottishfoundation.org, to learn more about that. Thank you for joining us this week. We love sharing our love of Scotland and hope that the different ways that we share that are helping you in planning and seeing more of the wonderful joys of Scotland. And so until next time,